Hey everybody, this is Scott Bowman. I'm the creator behind Idea Brickworks, and welcome to another episode of Brick Building Together Apart. Hey, I'm really excited about today's episode, episode number 9, by the way. We're going to have to figure out something to do on episode 10, but today's guest is Sam Bradford, and I did not know Sam until an episode with Joe Chambers, and I had seen his work, but I'm not as good at associating names on Facebook to people. So when Sam joined us and I got to know more about him, I invited him to be on the show. So today, Sam, who we are lovingly going to call Mr. B, because we have our normal producer, my producer, and who is a hard, well, let's just say he keeps me in line, is Sam Jones, and he is back in England.
Hello.
Still in a hotel room. Hi,
yes.
Sam.
Yeah, still in a hotel room, different one, but I have my Lego, which is what matters.
And a lot more Lego than you had the last time you were on the show. So.
Exactly, a lot more Lego.
And of course, Sam. So Sam, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. So, as Scott said, I'm Sam Bradford. I don't know. I'm a college kid, and I'm a music major, and I've been building Lego my entire life. I've been a space fan for the past 8 or 10 years or so, and then I got back into building again within the past 3 years, and that's when this space Lego designing the launch pad has all just kind of snowballed into this crazy big thing.
And crazy thing it is, and we will hear a lot more about that as we talk about it, because this Launch Complex 39 is an incredible project, and hopefully someday it will all be built. Much more than the small portions that you'll get to see later in a collaboration that Sam has with Joe Chambers. So with that, I guess let's introduce one of our regulars, and that is Mr. Joe Chambers.
Hey, Joe.
Sorry. Hey, guys. How's it going?
You had a really good time. So, and let's all celebrate, give a round of applause for Joe getting a webcam.
Well done, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. I know it's about time.
It is. And it's much
everybody
better.
Doing?
And they aren't that expensive, are they?
Yeah. I mean, compared to how much I spend on Lego.
Yeah. Well, and that's how much
I spend about as much on that as I did on my Curiosity rover. So, whatever.
There you go. So, I am going to here, let me take this off for a minute. So one of the things we do is we all are building and then we talk, and Sam's normally good at making sure we don't get into the dinner mode where we're not talking because we're all busy building. So this is the part of the show where we talk about what we're building. So again, I have my producer is also let's see, what would I call it? He is my connection to exclusive sets available only in the UK. So we had a little exchange in Virginia. Yes, England. The UK. I've learned I'm supposed to call it the UK because I said a friend was from England, not from Wales, and got in a bit of trouble, a spot of trouble, as you might say. Anyway, he got me the exclusive Lego House dinosaurs. And of course I did, this wasn't for free. He did get one of my extra Saturn V's, so which he has in his hotel room. You're probably the only hotel room that has a bunch of Lego in it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He also got me the Tree of Creativity, I think they call it, which is really a fun little build. And I'm starting to, I've added a couple of micro things that I've done to it. Let's see, where's the other one? I had the shuttle on.
So,
There it is.
So just a quick aside, Scott. When I redesigned the interior supports for the Skylab, or I'm sorry, the LUT, I actually slightly based it off of the interior of that tree that you just showed.
It's a really interesting way to build it. And it gave me a whole bunch of ideas too. And
sorry, that was an aside, but
it wasn't aside, but it's an important aside for people that build tall.
Yeah.
It definitely, you need that. So, Mr. B, what are you going to be doing today?
I'm going to be working on my MSS, and I think I'm going to be working on platform 2 and 4. I think is what I'm going to be designing and working on.
Okay. And Sam, you actually have some things to build. So what are you going to build today?
I do, and my problem is I have a lot of Lego, as you said, more than I normally would. So I put it out to a vote on Facebook and Instagram, and I haven't looked at the results yet. But for those who are late to the party, we have Steamboat Willie, Buckingham Palace, and the new Mickey and Minnie Mouse characters. So I'm going to get my phone out and see what was on Instagram and Facebook and see who voted and all that. So on Facebook, the first person who replied and voted was Sam Bradford, funny enough. And he said I should just build all of them. So I'll give it a go. I'll try it.
Speed build.
In 2 hours, right?
Easy.
I got another vote for Steamboat, and what's on Instagram? Let's have a quick look. We've got 2 for Buckingham Palace, but the rest are all for the Steamboat, and there's even a mention for a little flamingo like this. So I think it's going to be the Steamboat here. I think it wins, and not because it's affectionately got some funny names in it.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, well, I also want to apologize. I know that we have a lot of kind of regulars that come on the show, and I got my thanks, Mr. Chambers, for reminding us to get that out. I meant to get that out yesterday, so I did send it out. So hopefully, if you are interested in joining us, please do. But I did want to start off just because it's my show, right? That this is what I started building last week. Make sure.
Oof.
So this is the old, it was a Grand Prix. I think it was probably 90s into the 00s when they switched to the V8s. But it wasn't badged. I really think it was based on Williams at the time. But for some reason, I'm guessing licensing didn't work out, that kind of stuff. And it also can be powered. But what I really like versus the other large formula cars is this one actually does have a working suspension, and it uses the lever system. So the shock absorbers are actually in line like they would be in a true formula car. So I really liked that aspect, and it has a lot of suspension pieces. So this will be a good one. But I also kind of like the, there's this kind of neat, so there's a gear assembly in there, and based on which way you do the gear, let's make sure it will open up the deck or close it. But then using that same mechanism, you can just switch that switch. And there's a system called the DRS in Formula One, which is the drag reduction system. And it was a way to kind of artificially get more passing in Formula One. And it had to do with the rear wing. And if you can basically take the element and reduce it. And so this does that. So the other part of this crank actually, so like in this position, and DRS stands for drag reduction system. This reduces the drag and thus increases top line speed by anywhere to probably 5 to 15 kips. So it gives them significant advantage going into the next turn. And the way it works in Formula One is you have to be within 1 second of the car in front of you, and then this is allowed. And they're only usually courses will have 1, maybe 2 DRS zones where they can use it. And then it snaps back into place because basically they'd crash if they didn't have this for when they turn. So, which is, believe it or not.
So comparing this to Mario Kart, when they go into those zones, it's like hitting a power up or something.
Yeah, it's hitting a mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm sure that's where Formula One got it from. That was
It might even be equivalent to the 3 mushrooms or the golden mushrooms.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, we were
that
talking about Mario Kart mushrooms, not the one I found in the forest.
Yeah, we've got to be clear about that.
Okay.
The ones on Mario Kart.
Sorry.
Did you guys watch qualifying this morning?
no, I
No.
have not been able to keep up with Formula One. Is it still raining?
It was drizzling at the end of Q3.
It's always raining in Europe. Come on.
Okay, so don't keep us in breath. Who's on pole?
Oh,
Spoilers.
I forget who exactly it was. I know Red Bull
It was
struggled.
being British guy.
Red Bull was struggling because they're having a rough year.
Yeah.
Who's the pink team? Is that?
That's Racing Point Force
Racing-
India.
I think they had 1 and 2. Let me just look it up so I don't
What?
make mistakes.
Okay, that's pretty wild.
Sam, remember, we're trying to keep Scott from swearing, so maybe.
Yeah, please. I don't want to have to
Oh
write it
no, yeah, I'm wrong. It was Hamilton, Bottas,
Okay, that makes more sense.
both Hamilton and Bottas on 2. Then Racing Point 3, 4,
still
7 and 5th.
What's
Yeah,
what engine is Force India running?
Mercedes, isn't it?
so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So whilst we got a quick break, we want to say hello to a couple of people who are watching. Kevin Huang says hello to everyone.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Scott, our colleague Sarah, says hello. And make sure I get the episode right. Episode 7, guest Leah Chan, who's also tuned in. She says hello.
Yeah.
Hey,
Leah, you can come on if you want.
But in the green room, as we'll call it, we do have another regular, Peter.
Oh, you must have just seen my.
Hey, Peter, are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
How's everyone
Peter.
Got the alternate color brick separator.
I got one of them too. Yeah. It's my first one in a different color. I feel like a kid again.
What are you doing today, Peter?
I'm working on my Iron Man Hall of Armor mock.
Huh.
Oh,
So I'm kind of Trying to display all of my suits. Got a couple new ones this year.
Well, that's fun.
Oh, you're a Marvel nerd.
Trying to get some more tiling because I'm going to put some hot rods over here on this side for a garage.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I got a poly bag in the mail just a few minutes ago.
Hey, Mr. B.
What's
Weird
up?
calling you that. I was cleaning my garage from my move last year,
So,
and do you see these?
Oh,
Oh wow!
I found a handful of like brand new ones, and also a box of used ones. Back when they were plentiful.
So how much are you going to be selling those for on Bricklink?
I don't have a Bricklink selling account, so what I'm saying is, Sam or anyone else, if you are building one of my LUTs, I might be willing to part with them cheap.
yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that.
Okay.
yeah,
I
your best buddy.
once I get done with the SpaceX TE, I'm gonna start buying parts for the LUT.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk about it later.
Yeah,
We're gonna deal drugs later, everyone.
It gets to a stage, doesn't it, where you sit there and you go, we are just dealers of different bits of Lego to different people.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we sell in kilos and bags.
Hey, also, speaking of which, Sam,
Yeah.
not Bradford.
Oh, wrong spot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I knew I had some of these parts, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, they're dark bluish gray and white is what I found. So,
Yeah,
I
dark.
know you were looking for light bluish gray.
I could do with the dark bluish grey though. The dark bluish grey works for a van I'm doing.
Okay.
So
Well,
if
let's
you don't
talk
mind
later
putting
then.
that aside, I'll get in touch.
Okay.
Same
Okay.
class as normal.
Well, and you could send them to me, and I can get it to the next mule that comes from England.
It's just gonna be
Should I
Lego.
trust him?
It's kind of nice to have this connection back to England. But
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if I was able to tell everyone what I'm working on right now because this relates to our
oh, Leah's
guest
joining us.
today. So, Leah's
Hi,
here.
Leah.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey.
Joe was just telling us what he's doing today. It's kind of nice to have this back to England.
A party today.
It is.
Hey, I don't know if I was able to tell everyone what I'm working on right now because this relates. What is that?
Oh, Leah's. Oh, you have us on twice, Leah.
That's 20 seconds ago.
I did this to Kevin Hinkle. I think you've got us on.
It is. That's weird. What is
Pretty
that?
trippy.
I'm hearing myself like 3 times over.
Let me go and count the other one.
There you go.
Okay, that's better, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay.
I did that to Kevin the other day, and luckily he figured it out quick. So, okay, Joe, what are you doing today?
Sorry. What I'm building today, or what I'm trying to finalize today, is Mr. B's design of Launch Complex 39 and I'm sure you're going to talk about it a little more later, or a bunch, hopefully. But
Yeah.
I've been doing a test build of his design, hopefully trying to get it to a point where he and I can collaborate on making some instructions for the upper deck of it. So that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm hopefully going to be, I don't know, maybe putting my LUT on top of it today and doing some finalized stuff on it.
Whoa.
Yep. So that's what I got going on. Anyway.
What do you got going on, Leah?
I'm trying to finish fixing up the launch tower for the SLS and still working on some of the smoke, try to make it look a little bit better. Because if you see any of the posting on my Facebook page, I went ahead and redid all the smoke. Now I can put the smoke in all three of the launch pads instead of before it was only for the space launch system. So I guess at different show I can do either the shuttle for the launch or the space launch system as launch or now the Saturn V launch.
That's cool. And those pictures are awesome, by the way. I saw those. Those nighttime shots.
That's one of the things I also need to do is just do a photo shoot with the launch pad outdoor. And for the night shot, find a place that's big enough and have a ceiling that's high enough that I can do a better pictures.
I told you, you just need to do a road trip. I got this perfect studio.
Yes.
It's like for cars. And so I did the Saturn V, but he hasn't produced those pictures. And I promised the pictures to Dave Shefsick at Brothers Brick First. Then I can post them. So they'll come out and there's some pretty cool night shots that he did. But anyway, it's this big volume and you can turn the lights off and do all sorts of things. So it's going to be really, really awesome.
Because tomorrow I'm going to try to do the photo shoot outdoor because I finally found a spot that I can actually do it and has the lake in the background.
So you can get the comet too?
Wow.
Scott, did you see the photo I posted of the comet?
Yeah. Oh, maybe not. I don't think I did.
I went up to Bogus the other night. And actually what you just said, I've been trying to think of something to do again with it. I might take the Saturn V out and try to do a shoot with it as well.
There you go.
I'm seriously tempted to find a way to stick some like SD's rocket motors inside one of these Lego Saturn V models and see how high up I can get it to go. I'm totally kidding. I would never do that.
Why don't I believe you?
Exactly. You sound like the kid that put firecrackers in your plastic models, doused it with glue, and
Hey, in Boy Scouts, it was our goal to prove that you could burn anything. You just had to get it to the right temperature.
Right. Well, that's true.
Which is all science, really, if you think about it.
What was that?
It's all science, really, if you think about it, isn't it?
Who would have thought I'd grow up to be an engineer?
Who'd have thought? That's a good segue into. I think we need to talk about Sam's Mr. B's alternate personality. So this is the part that you didn't see on the announcement. What is that red thing that you're hugging so dearly to your chest?
Is he there?
Oh, You're.
Oh, hang on a sec. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
It is a French horn, even though it's not really French.
What you're gonna do.
So yeah,
You heard it here, folks.
I'm a music student, and I've been studying the horn for the last 4 years. So that's what I do, hours a day.
Practice.
Yeah. During the school year, I play 4 or 5 hours a day on top of rehearsals. It's a lot of time in a little tiny room.
So, are you a senior then, or are you getting a master's degree?
I will be a senior. I'll be a senior of my undergrad.
So, what are your hopes and dreams?
It's a great question. It's been a crazy path. I went into college wanting to be a music teacher, and then realized it wasn't for me after my first semester. So I said, let's give music performance a shot. And then right before my audition, I snapped and I couldn't handle the pressure because it's really, really stressful.
Right.
Because you can't mess up. You just can't, because that's how the industry works. So now I'm just doing a general music degree, and I think I'm either going to go into instrument repair or like machining or some sort of skilled manual labor job, which I enjoy.
I know several music majors that went into acoustics.
I have a minor in music industry, which is audio recording and how to be a manager for a band. So I am totally interested into audio engineering and that whole field.
The people that, our firm actually employed acousticians, and one of them came out of a music major. Then he went back to school and got a master's in acoustics. And then really what he was doing was designing sound systems, sound suppression, like auditorium reverb, designing that kind of stuff. Really super talented guy. And he also liked to build like the big scale rockets, the ones that they launch in Arizona every
Oh,
year.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he did the flying sub from Voyage Beneath the Sea, whatever that one was. Can't remember what that one is. Anyway, no, I totally understand the teaching part. There's a special place in heaven for 7th grade music instructors.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that first concert, but then I remember the last concert, and it's like, you know what? They're carrying a tune, and it's like, how did they get there?
A lot of work, a lot of patience.
I think I said this the first time I heard, but my girls both were in music, and it was amazing. I mean, in high school, but it's amazing to me how many very talented technical people are drawn to music, and just go all over the place. And you sound very much like you approach things like an engineer.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would check out like engineering textbooks from the library. Now, I wasn't reading them, but I would look through them and then try and build like a drawbridge or some type of bridge out of whatever I had lying around. I've just been doing that since I was a kid.
You know what I always found funny is some of my professors, and it's weird to me how many really, really smart people I've known in my life who are into punk rock. Like the most, not necessarily basic, but like, you know, it's all very simple, like blast beats and power chords. But I always thought that was funny how many like real people who were really, really into math were into like punk and metal.
Well, I mean, if you're really into math and music, you should look into modern classical music.
Mm-hmm.
As you get into atonality and new music, which is all about math, and you create your entire piece by a grid of note names or note letters.
Yeah.
It gets very mathy very fast.
Very mathy, very. Are you into Tool at all?
Tool?
The
No.
band? Okay, never mind.
I do not know them.
Okay. That blows my mind.
I'm into tools. I like it.
Okay, all right. Look,
Maybe a different thing, Scott.
Is that a different thing?
Well, I saw how excited you were getting at the weekend about Gaffer's tape, so yeah, I think it is a different thing.
Okay. Do you know the guy that invented gaffer's tape died last year?
No?
And he was from the UK. And apparently he was an engineer for, did production work for bands and stuff years and years and years ago, and just got very frustrated with the tapes that were available and invented his own.
It's hard to find good tape.
And there's nothing, you know, and then the only thing worse than duct tape is bad gaffer's tape. So you got to get the stuff that costs like $20 to $25 a roll. That's the real stuff.
So my first degree was in aviation, and it always blew my mind going out to fly. Some temporary fixes on light aircraft is simply just duct tape. Because all they're trying to do is keep the aerodynamic surface aerodynamic.
Yeah.
They just need to cover up the hole. What was that? Okay.
It's amazing.
Are you sure we can go flying in this thing? Yeah. No problem. Yeah, but there's a hole in the wing and you have duct tape over it.
Did we lose Leah?
Yes, I think we did.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to hear more about, like, I've been well acquainted with Sam's design because I've had to dissect it and put it together. I want to hear more about your process of how you, yes, this thing.
Yeah, that big honkin' thing.
That thing.
Big hunk of thing.
So, how it all started was I was working on my first transporter erector, and I was like, why don't I build? Yeah, the SpaceX transporter erector, and I was like, you know, why not? Why don't I build the fixed service structure? And so then I did that, and it was like, you know, what would it look like if I did the entire pad? And then I started doing research and found blueprints and documents, and then I just kind of went from there. I first did, I made an outline in Studio of the height where each section of the pad would be, just to get the math out, and then I just slowly built it section by section. It took about a year to get the root of the pad done before I got into the detail work. And it's gone through numerous revisions. The internal structure has changed like 3 times. Still need to redo it.
And you've been adding incredible detail.
Yeah, so that's the little tiny umbilical, I guess you could call it, is the, what's that? Pneumatics, I
The
believe.
green one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that one.
Yep. That I'm about to put back on. Yeah, that's the pneumatics.
I actually had to, when I was first starting to add the attachments for Joe's LUT, I realized that his old version of the mobile launcher, the gray section of the LUT, doesn't actually fit to the Lego grid. So we had to figure out a solution, and we spent probably 2 months fiddling with
Talking back and forth
and moving like half a stud just to try and
Yeah.
get it to line up. Because I couldn't build it if it didn't line up right. We had to figure it out, and eventually found a way to get it to all work together.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam, and there was another guy who I did a whole a month or 2 long redesign of the mobile launcher there, just to accommodate those the feet on the mobile launcher.
Oh,
I had to completely redesign the interior of that thing to handle holding up the weight of the LUT. So I have Sam to thank partially for wasting an entire couple months of my life. Just kidding. It was a great change.
Not a
I'm
weight.
happy. Yeah, it was fun.
I was very concerned when we were first looking at it if it would actually hold.
Too.
Because I mean, the sides of your ML are connected not horizontally but vertically.
Yeah.
So we were worried about them just kind of snapping.
I don't know.
I like the structure. Plus, I like the piping since that's what I did for a living for a long time.
So I have a question for both Mr. B and Joe. Did you two know each other before you started working together, or was it just, Sam, you mentioned that you were designing things and then you were trying to make it fair. Did you go, I really need to talk to the designer on this one and just get in touch with him?
Well, by that point, me and Joe had been talking for a while. I think the first time we had connected, I think Joe reached out to me and asked me to look over the first or second version of his LUT.
Okay.
And so I just...
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was that we're both part of the it's called Bricks in Space now, but it was a Facebook group, and we had been seeing each other's stuff all over the place.
just kind of
I
started.
guess we just recognized when you see another really nerdy person who's really into detailed space builds, you ask them for advice.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, I get behind that. Yeah.
So yeah, no, we did not know each other prior to this crazy endeavor.
Where are you located, Mr. B?
I am from Columbus, the Columbus area of Ohio.
Okay.
So
Where are you
yeah.
going to college?
Bowling Green, so Northwest Ohio.
See,
BGSU.
I did not know you were going to Bowling Green.
Mhm.
Ever been to Salt Lake City or Utah? You know,
I have not, sadly.
I think you should avoid me personally, but you know.
Notice he didn't ask, have you ever been out to Idaho? Because nobody goes to Idaho. People go to Salt Lake City.
Hey, Boise is the fastest growing city in the country. So
Yeah, well, that's never mind. I've been to Boise. That's nothing to brag about. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, rough
It is.
ride.
It's home of the designer of the largest Saturn V, made out of Lego. Just
What was
saying.
that?
I said it's home to the designer of the largest Saturn V made out of Lego.
When I was first early on in my design phase of the LC39, I actually talked to Leah.
oh yeah.
Because I saw that she had done something similar and had taken stuff to shows. And I was asking her about how to actually take stuff to a show, and because she had experience with it, which helped me design things and break it up into smaller chunks, so it's not one massive thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do envy you all your ability to do. When you all make mocks and everything like that, you do think about how you've got to break it down and move it from show to show.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on the. I've kind of stopped. I've taken a break from LC39 just because you go 6 months working on it almost every day. I need a break every now and then.
Yeah.
So I've been working on the MSS, the mobile service structure,
Show that one off.
which has been a beast and a half.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I can pull up the design. I can show you the internal structure of it up close.
Okay.
There we go.
It's
Put you on the.
So that's the funny story about this is that people kept like asking me, "Hey, dude, your LUT is amazing. Do the MSS." And I'm like, "No, I'm not that crazy. No, you got to be absolutely nuts to tackle that thing." And that's
well, just
we got Sam doing it.
I'm going to admit that I did not know about this. So tell me what this was and what they used it for.
So originally, the MSS was called the Arming Tower. In the early days of Apollo, before the pad was even built, but it is rolled up to the pad a couple days before launch, and it helps protect the rocket from falling over in heavy winds, and then they can service almost any part of the vehicle with these platforms.
Okay.
And the right here, this top two levels is where the CSM and the command module are, and there's environmental control systems, and they can do wet dress rehearsals, dry rehearsals, and fix anything on the pad before launch. But
they'd actually drive it up to the pad using the crawler. So it was a separate piece of equipment.
Oh, okay. So they bring out the launch pad, drop it off,
Mhm.
and then I just
So
saw
grab the MSS, put it next to the rocket, because they bring the Saturn V out there like a few weeks before launch. If I'm correct.
Something like that. I think it varied
Yeah.
between launches.
Yeah.
what's that orange thing, Joe? You mentioned something about that. I saw it in a post, but the orange thing that fits up in there, when did that go into the assembly?
Orange thing.
You said it's in your build. It's like an orange, it looks like a donut thing.
Oh, the cue ball. Is that what you're talking about?
The engine service platform.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
it's yellow.
Okay.
Yellow, orange.
Yellow.
Yeah. So the engine service platform. You know the blast chamber where the engines are.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a platform that had holes for the engines that just kind of got winched up into the platform or in through the engine trench, and they would just use it to service the engines before launch, just make sure everything was fine. And Sam actually made a really good model of it in the LC39
I can show that.
that I haven't gotten around to try building yet.
But you showed it in your LUT. Oh, was that you then, Mr. B? You had it?
Yeah.
So Joe has on his ML, he has a yellow line outlining around the rocket, which represents the platform. But I actually built the platform that you can actually move, and if you really wanted to, put string on it and raise it into the engine chamber.
Okay.
So
Mine is more like it's all set, it's in there, it's in there, but with Sam's you can actually take it. It won't fit in my LUT, does it?
it doesn't go all the way up to the deck, but it will
Okay.
go up to the engine belt.
Okay. All right.
So just some fun facts about me designing this MSS. If you can tell, it's not straight. The sides angle in.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's that angle. And then there's this.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and it moves inwards. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried playing around with angles. It is a pain in the butt.
Yes.
Yep.
I've fought with that for like a month, just getting these poles to line up right. And then because of this is pretty darn accurate to the actual design. I actually have full blueprints for it. The only internal structure, like vertically, are these beams. And of course, this front face. This is all vertically built. So I'm a little worried about actually building this in real life.
Which is it's both the blessing and the curse of having these design tools is that you can design things and you just don't know if they'll work.
Yeah. And now that I'm adding the service platforms, you can really tell how off balance it is, which is what this white tower is in the back. All right, let's check out. Hopefully my computer won't crap itself loading the pad.
I didn't say it.
That's all right. That's not as bad as some of the words.
So, okay, what is the largest part count you guys have seen in studio
Oh,
that you know of?
Well, all I know of is Scott's.
Yeah, but it's in
But
segments.
separate.
I just redesigned a segment that's got 6,600 bricks.
I've done 10,000.
Oh my word! Look at that.
Really?
93,000.
What?
93,000. Oh my God.
It's still going up.
And that's
Yeah,
not.
I don't have any. See, here's the problem: is whatever Mr. B does, he has everything I've created in his model. So I go, my LUT is 8,600 pieces. Well, it's in his model.
Yeah.
That's a little bitty part of it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just a small, tiny, little part.
I mean, like you
Oh.
look in Joe's desk and you see that top part of the pad and go, that's huge.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
massive. And then you look at my model, the 3D model, and go, that'll be bigger than the room I'm in.
Yeah, I have an unfinished basement if I wanted to attempt your whole thing, but I don't know, man.
I think if we were going to do that, we'd have to do a live stream in-house in the basement.
Yeah. And I'd have to invite all you guys down here. But
For a couple of weeks.
Hey, there
yeah.
Whoa. Look at
Oh, gee. So, do you have this like I do mine? Now this gets me to want to try and put the whole rocket into one. But are you doing submodels that you can then move around and view and edit separately?
Quick side note. So this is roughly 140,000 parts currently.
Jeez.
And $28,000.
Oh, yeah.
How much?
A lot.
more money than I make in 10 years, probably.
So yeah, I do use submodels. I don't like submodels because they're a pain to use.
I've been spending a lot of time again in this 6.3 design, and I know what you mean, because sometimes to get a brick placed is a trick and a half, but it does allow these big, huge builds, which has its benefits.
And also, Sam, we were talking about discussing how to do instructions. Doing submodels is a very integral part of making good instructions, as far as the way I do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get rid of a lot of this.
I heard you two are thinking about doing a kit together, Mr. B.
At least instructions.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the problem. Where do I put my computer? Okay. Let's see if this works. Nope.
This is a very colorful dinosaur.
Well, I was thinking the exact same for my boat, because it's meant to be a boat that's black and white, but the inside is orange, blue, red, yellow, green, bright green.
Yep.
Any other color but black and white. I'm not complaining, because I might use them.
Sam, you're gonna lose my video for a second. Just warning.
Okay.
Okay. I won't panic.
Oh, man. Oh, too far. This section of the pad, the tan part of it, is probably the hardest to do. Because it's not straight on.
Part?
this northwest like access road.
Wow.
It was just a pain.
Oh, now I see all the
So-
stuff filled in on the.
Just out of curiosity, did you ever consider like doing? Did you ever play around with the idea of doing tiles to make it smooth instead of the plates?
Yeah, I did a test section at some point a while ago, and I didn't think it looked good because with the tiles there's a one hard edge in
Yeah.
every single step. With the stud, it makes it blend a little better.
Okay. So are you annoyed that I decided to do your build with tiles on the top?
No, the tiles on the top seems like a good idea.
What is the actual material? Is it gravel? Is it sand?
It's all concrete.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's all concrete.
I'm pretty sure it's just, most of the pad has stuff under it.
Could you build an angled plate with tiles for that roadway, or is that that roadway you were talking about, the one going up the hill?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious how that would look. I don't know.
I wanted to do that at first, but like there are some other sections that just would be too like look at this.
Oh,
This part has a weird slope and angle to it, which would be next to impossible in an angled plate.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the roadway, the tile. I didn't mean like the actual.
Oh, you mean just the road itself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably. You can probably. It's at a 45-degree angle or something, I think. That wouldn't be too bad to do. But
That's possible.
Because I think the studs are great for texture.
mhm. Like this side of the pad has multiple different buildings within it, which one's called the PTCR, I believe, and the ECS, which is environmental, or ECR, environmental control room.
Yeah.
The other side of the pad has high pressure gas storage, which is
Mhm.
this bit. Here's the engine service platform that you were asking about.
Yeah. That thing right there.
Ah,
And then- One way. This part sets on top, and you can theoretically raise it up into the mobile
Oh, yeah.
launcher.
What are those additional posts for?
So these, I didn't find any documentation for them, but I found them in a lot of photos. They were.
I did find some documentation, and here's the redesign of those.
Yeah, Joe did a redesign that I haven't made yet. They go around the hole in the ML where the rocket sits. Once the mobile launcher is placed on the pad, someone with a forklift picks them up and moves them next to it to take the brunt force of the Saturn V.
Oh, okay.
To add some support so it doesn't just break in the middle.
And then they're removed at launch?
I think they stay until after launch.
Oh, okay. So they get a little singy.
I started noticing them in pictures during the launch. You can see their silhouette in the flames.
I did want to ask. Let me get to a slide because of a personal project I want to do for the big one. There it is. Okay, I'm going to put this on for a minute. Okay, in the left-hand picture. Okay, you can't see my pointer. So the floodlights, I cannot find any pictures that show me what the floodlights look like, because I would like to design a way to illuminate the large Saturn V with LEDs, but in a manner that would be consistent with what it looked like on the pad.
I've also struggled to find a good photo of them.
They must be aimable, because they are. I definitely could tell that they were done. There's a way to aim,
So what I've been able to find about those lights, the one you're looking at right there, are just floodlights to illuminate like the driving surfaces of the pad area.
Mm-hmm.
What they had otherwise were these mobile spotlight trailers that they would point up towards the rocket to,
like really big searchlights.
Yeah, like big searchlights.
Have you seen any pictures of them?
I have. I can send you some pictures.
Yeah, would you? Because I'm working with brick stuff. Rob Kleinschmidt on a Kleinschmidt. Anyway, Rob on another project, but I'd like to have something that I could put up, in case we ever have a convention again. I would like to be able to show it at night the way it was for Apollo 17. Just before launch, the way they had it all nice and lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, do you by chance have any contacts at NASA that are like historians or just dedicated engineers?
The only one I do know, an education person that I met at Museum of Flight, but I cannot get them to return emails. So
okay.
So that
I'm just gonna offer I have a friend who's an engineer there, and he's been able to. There's a guy in his office that's been able to answer some of my odd historical questions.
Oh.
So if you are,
I would be interested.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he might be able to help with the floodlight question.
That would be awesome.
Have you asked around on any of those Saturn V history pages?
No, and I should. It's one of those things that I want an answer when I have time to deal with it, and then I can't get it right away, so then I move on to the next panic thing. So
now, a weird thing I noticed is that there are lots of resources out there for the Saturn V, and I've found the same kind of things that Sam found in doing, same reference photos and everything. But because I'm weirdly obsessed with Skylab, I've also been able to find some unique reference photos that are Skylab Saturn V photos.
Right.
And then you're able to backtrack and go, okay, it was all the same stuff for the Apollo Saturn V's.
Yep.
Like the pneumatic tower that's up on the screen right now. The left one was like that sand green color for Apollo 8, 9, and 10, I think. And then for 11, they went to a light gray, which then stayed for the rest of the program.
it's little details like that that you want to ask, you know, a question to someone like, why were so many of these mechanical parts this light green color in some launches, and then in other launches they were, you know, gray or black or white? It's those nerdy little questions that I want to know.
Now looking at your LUT base makes me want to redesign the base of mine. Of course,
What was
mine
that, Scott?
doesn't really end.
The other
Trying to talk.
Okay.
So we have a quick question here from Kevin Huang for both Joe and Mr. B. As you can see on screen, he says, are your LUT and pad at the 1 to 112, which Adam Wild and Nathan Redioff say the Saturn V kit is at, or 1 to 110, 1 to 110?
I guess
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm offended.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is a question
Oh,
for
hey, Kevin.
Chambers.
No. Let me. What's really funny is, and you know what, Sam? I think we had this discussion at one point. It's so Sam and I, if you can't tell, we're way into like making these things as accurate and to scale as possible, but we're using Legos, and it's not a super accurate building tool. It's it's designed within constraint, which is big in engineering.
Yeah.
So what scale is this designed to? It's designed to the scale of the Saturn V model. Because it's not a really, some parts of it are very accurate to the 1 to 110. Some of it are just slightly different. So the arms on my LUT, I just had to wing it. Like I had to look at how it looks in the pictures, and it doesn't land exactly where it should land on the LUT or on the Saturn V. But at some point, we can't be neurotic. We have to just go with, hey, that looks right.
Well, you can be neurotic. It just doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question at all, but is it in 110 or 112? The answer is yes.
When I really noticed.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
When I was designing the MSS, I have blueprints of it, and so I was doing the scaling math and figuring out exactly where everything should be laid out. And then I put it next to Joe's LUT, and I was like, hey, the LUT is shorter than the MSS, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And so I messaged Joe and was like, hey, well, am I wrong? Is my math wrong, or is your math wrong? And then he was like, basically what he just said, the Saturn V from Lego is not quite to scale across the board. So we have to fudge some things and make it work.
That's absolutely fine, because again, we are building using Lego. Isn't this supposed to be a toy?
That's what I was told.
It depends who you ask, doesn't it? I mean,
Here, I'm taking over the screen. First one.
that's scary.
Isn't she cute? Isn't it cute?
What's her name?
And you know, you realize for all we know, dinosaurs were that color.
This is true.
Very true.
And some of them had feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Isn't it ironic that that plastic dinosaur could be made out of a real dinosaur?
No, most of the petroleum we get is not from that era. Sorry to kill. Oh,
Joke. But
Remember, he's an engineer, so
nerds ruining everything again.
building these two things makes me want to go to the Lego house even worse.
Sorry, mate.
I know we're not welcome in Europe right now.
Yeah, I don't think you will be for a while.
Not until November.
We have trouble accepting our own people as well. Don't worry.
Oh, family friendly. You're gonna make me start swearing.
I know. That's a good subject to stay away from.
so, did anyone see the new snot brick that's out?
What?
What?
No.
Oh, yes. I can see that.
Here, I'll bring my camera down. So I was able to find the Mandalorian brickheads, and it has a new snot brick with studs on the side.
Oh.
Oh, that looks awesome.
So the set comes with 2 of them, and it goes to little Baby Yoda's carriage.
Cool.
Is it used for the head?
No, it's actually used for the side of the carriage.
Oh, okay.
It puts these 2 white pieces on, and then you build on the side. So that's what it looks like on the other side, where I didn't take it out. So
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's going to be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Very.
Hey everybody, we're getting into hold your breath mode.
Oh no.
Oh, do we need to put you big screen, Joe?
It'll be a few minutes, but
Just say the word.
Well, if it falls, we
well, I
don't.
mean, if you want to see the whole process, yeah.
Well, I think we could do with some comedy.
We need some music.
Like some Lord of the Rings music or something. Okay. This is where I go over the checklist.
We need a go, no go for launch here.
Yeah. Booster, go. Retro, go.
Econ, go.
Guidance is good.
I was wondering about. Okay, so you did have the other side. I didn't know you had made the other side yet.
Yeah, do you want me to do a sweep real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I just have these here for spacing right now.
Correct. Yeah.
Make sure they're good. These are those extensible columns is what they called, and I'll put those on later. But yeah, here's the whole thing right now. What I'm going to be working on is the connections to the LUT. I'm going to be resizing all those according to the real life build. So are we good? And again, this is Sam's design. I'm just the one crazy enough to do this.
Well, good
You
luck.
have the semi-disposable income to buy the brick.
I'm kind of sat here looking at my
I
seat.
didn't bust my butt for 4 years going through engineering school just to be an engineer.
That helps.
Okay. Got this.
You don't have your crawler.
I do. I'm gonna remove some things so I don't snag on something. It's under the desk.
Right. I'm at a place I can stop and watch this now.
No pressure.
Okay, I really am holding my breath.
If you're just tuning in, it's okay. We're watching.
Obviously, you have a good rotator cuff because I wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
So does it actually hook into the posts or just rest on the posts?
Just rests on them.
Hey!
Success.
We're good.
Well done, Joe.
Awesome.
Look at that. That's mega.
Wow.
That is really cool.
Okay, I'm just going to be working on details now.
So what are those? What's the extra posts in front of it? Is that for the MSS?
No,
Yeah.
these ones? Yes,
Yeah.
those are for the MSS.
Okay.
Those are where the MSS hooks in. Whoops.
Oh yeah, you're ready for it.
Yeah, so there are 4 of them.
Mhm.
Wow, this
Now,
is a
were
lot
they-
more convenient. Why didn't you guys tell me to get a webcam earlier? Anyway, I'm just going to be working on it, so keep talking about your stuff.
Oh, let's take a moment for one of our guests. Did you see his message, Sam? Do you want to
Yeah.
get that?
I'm working on it right now.
Okay. So Peter, apparently new to me, has a Lego Ideas project he would like to promote. So
Oh, awesome.
let's do that. How do I get to him? How do you change to his camera?
You do that. Like that. There you go.
You're supposed to teach me how to fish, dude. Okay. Sam, or sorry, Peter, the floor is yours.
Should I just bring up the link or?
He's gonna put it up there, but if you want to show it,
Well, it's all digital.
yeah, you want to share your screen?
Yep. Give me one moment.
Mr. V, the escape slide fits perfect.
Oh,
Awesome.
Right. Peter, give us a nod when you're ready, my friend.
I'm ready.
There you go.
Gumby.
Oh, yeah.
So the other week I just started to decide building these and started with Gumby's face and just worked for the scale from there. And happy with the head shape I got. These arms are actually 4 studs wide because of the scale I decided to choose with. So I didn't have really any piping that size to do the elbows to keep the circular motion in. Yeah, these are somewhat tall. It's 1,700 pieces. And I made a video on YouTube, and someone suggested I should put it up on Ideas, and I'm like, yeah, why not? I've never done that before. And Yeah, 1,700 pieces, and just like small little details. Instead of having like an exactly flat bottom, I decided to add a little bit of curve on the bottom, and just spent my time tiling it off. And really, the hardest part of this was kind of getting the hair on Pokey correct.
Hmm.
And then just a small little detail in the nose I like. Just instead of tiling it off, I kept that stud there. So,
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I posted it, I think, about a week ago now. And I'm really close to the first milestone of 100 supporters. So I'm excited that I was able to get that. And I think I'm clearly going to reach 100. So I guess my next goal is to try to get 1,000.
That gets you a year.
Yep. So, and it just happens to be for Gumby first appeared in 1955. So it's been 65 years. So nice little anniversary number. And
Cool. You're up to 94 now.
there we go. But yeah.
How tall is it?
I need let me go. Does the model info have that?
It'll have it in inches.
Cool.
Yeah, a model
okay.
and it gives you weight too if you go to
It's
the
29 inches.
ooh.
So yeah, they're a decent height. So yeah, if anyone wants to support it, feel free to do so. It'd be nice to just reach that first goal and see if I can do the second one.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
What is? Don't take this the wrong way. What is the point of doing Lego ideas? What is the point of submitting your design to that?
If it's selected and gets 10,000 votes to support, it can become an actual set.
Right.
Like the one I'm building right now, Steamboat Willie, was a Lego idea set. The Saturn V
Right.
was a Lego idea set.
Saturn V? Okay. But like, what do you get anything but the pride and joy and the fame?
I
Like
believe if it goes
1%?
into production, you get royalties. I think a 1% royalty of the sales, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, I wanna throw this out there now that we're talking about it. Valerie Roche. She was the one who originally did the first LUT.
Yep.
Yeah. She never got paid for her design. She started this whole thing, and
Did she really?
yeah, and she had her design stolen by some Chinese companies.
Wow.
Like straight
I didn't
up
know
stolen.
that.
Well, and didn't somebody
Someone on the Facebook group was saying, "Hey, here's a place you can donate to Valerie," and I'm going to go do that later today, because I have to be dead serious. Like, her design started me on this path, and I'm very grateful for her for being the first one to do that.
yeah, I'd like to amplify that a little. Did you see her response to my looking for guests?
I did, yeah.
I
did.
immediately responded there, and then I sent her a DM, and she hasn't answered me. So I hope she understands that that was an invitation to people just like her. Did you read it that way? I guess.
I chatted with her, and I found that there was some errors in translation, just slight ones. So I don't know, but that does not.
You mean
eliminate
English
that,
is
and I'm
not
very
her,
grateful to her.
is English not her first language?
No, I think she's French.
Okay. Well, anyway, I did because I'd love to have her on the show, and then, we could help amplify that. But so anyway, I responded quickly, so I'm trying to amend that. I didn't. To me, I thought I worded it like open invitation, not that I was inviting people that I already had on my show.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by the comment. I assumed it was just a misunderstanding.
I think it's got to be.
But I also understand her being kind of bitter, or just because of all the stuff she's dealt with the community has been really unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah, and even my little part of the community sometimes triggers my anxiety, and I just don't get back to people immediately. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, so because of all of that, her design being stolen and all these fake sellers out there, we have created a website called Bricks in Space that has all sorts of rocket designs. My old tower transporter erector designs on there. There's a couple different LUTs on there that are all available for free.
Right.
But all you have to do is enter your email to download, so we can try and keep wraps on designs so people don't just blatantly steal them.
Oh, are you an admin for Bricks in Space?
I am an admin on the Facebook page, and I'm also an admin on the website.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
So all those times I was cussing out the admins.
Uh-huh.
As one does.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sam or Mr. B, show that off, and then I think I have everything on here, so I'll do a quick scan pass of this for everyone. But yeah.
All right. So that is my transporter erector version 2. It's what rolls out the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy to the launch pad. Let me pull up the model. The first design of mine was pretty poor. Not very good. There was no real structure to it. The couple of people who built it, it tends to fall over. It doesn't hold its weight very well. But I have since redesigned it to make it more accurate. There's a Technic structure all the way through it, so it can hold its weight. So yeah, here's the BrickLink model for ordering parts. I'm in the middle of creating instructions for it, and I'm hoping to have this actually somewhat functional, so you can roll it out to the pad, and then there will be 2 connection points here that you'll connect to the launch pad. And then you can swing it vertically. Oh. And if you see here, N that connects to this launch clamp, you can remove that, and then you can actually, let me get this all on the way.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
We'll be actually able to, let's get
So how does that drive over the fire pit?
angle it away from the rocket.
Yeah.
So they actually extended, they put like a concrete bridge. I don't know if bridge is the right word, but they made a platform at the front part of the flame trench for these 2 tugs to drive over. And these tracks go up where the crawlerway used to be.
Okay.
And then it just connects to their launch mount and it flips up.
So it backs on to the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah, so this is my new design. Much better than the original.
That is cool.
Let me see if I can find the original. It's kind of laughable.
Noticed that in the Bricks in Space community, there just seems to be this ever decreasing list of potential launch towers and launch pads and rockets that haven't been made or designed yet.
Yeah, it's what I've been thinking about is the Omega rocket that's coming out. So yeah, this is my first version. As you guys have had experience,
Oh yeah.
that's not very structurally sound or accurate to the real thing.
And you're starting to procure brick for that, right? You said that?
Yes, I have I think about 60% here. 150 bucks I think to buy the last bit of part. How much is it? 1,500. Not as expensive as Joe's LUT.
Yeah. Unless you
Yeah.
had.
You know how many people email me and are like, "Hey, how much does that cost to build?" And I tell them the, average is between 1,200 and 2,000 US dollars. Sometimes I don't even get an email back from them.
I mean, it just depends on how you buy parts.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh,
Well, and I buy so many parts that I'm considering doing it, but until my cash flow improves, I really can't. But now I know where there's some
there you go.
railings. Although I'm still kind of fascinated with printing some railings. It wouldn't be quite as good, but or even finding somebody that wants to do 3D printing version.
I am so tempted to do 3D printing of that fence piece.
Except don't do that fence, because to me that's when you make the fence look more like the real thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Then to me that's an appropriate use of the technology, because you're really not impinging on Lego. You're making something that is not real.
Okay, so actually, give me a minute.
And I don't know anybody with a 3D printer, so
Yes, you do.
you got one?
No, our mutual colleague in Wales.
Oh, you're right. That is right. Oh, this leads me to a whole nother reason to get to Sonoma.
Exactly.
I'll update you on that.
With me, it's a matter of I don't think my wife wants me to start another hobby.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, Joe, are you going to give us a run through
Yeah.
or a flyby or
Flyby, yeah. Okay. See, my screen is here. The camera's there. So, all right, here we go. Give it a little more light. Okay. No, that makes it worse. Okay, so here it is. There's my crawler.
Wow.
You're seeing it here, folks. First public exhibition.
So the crawler, you can get instructions for this for free. You can either email me or it's on the Bricks in Space file sharing site. But yeah, this is it. Sam, there's the escape slide.
Hey, it works.
Yep. So this thing right here, if anything went wrong with the rocket, the crew could get to the elevator and it would drop them to the bottom real quick, but then they'd get into this slide right here, and the slide would take them down to a bomb shelter where
Yeah,
they would wait for the rocket, for the small thermonuclear weapon to explode.
Like they're going to have enough time.
in
To do
theory.
all that, yeah.
I thought they would just activate the
Escape.
the launch escape. I thought they could do that from the pad.
That was in the time period before they removed the crew arm. Like after they removed the crew arm, they could do the whole escape tower.
Right. Okay.
And I was wondering, I was looking at all these pictures of like, did they still have the escape slide for Skylab? This is obviously the Skylab LUT. But they did. They still had it because if there was any crew or anyone on the tower, they needed to be able to get out of there real quick.
Now,
So the other thing I want to show off real quick while we're talking about Skylab. So this is the original Skylab model by Grant Passmore with a few modifications by myself. This is like the first thing I did with Lego like 2 years ago. Okay. Now I have finally finished my 1:73 size Skylab.
Oh, wow.
So here's the original. So I'm working on instructions for this right now. But yeah.
Looks very good.
Sorry, this is the only chance I get to brag to people that actually care.
So why isn't the deck of your ML not detailed?
I am intending on doing this as a like right before launch.
Okay.
I might convert it back to more like during setup.
Mhm.
But my plan is actually to have this lifting off slightly and title the whole setup "The Rise of Skylab."
Oh,
I know it's a.
Did you see Leah's version where she's got
Yes.
that is
Yes, I saw Leah's. I've been starting to collect little transparent red, yellow, and orange pieces to try to experiment with flame. But we'll see. But yeah, I did see Leah's, and that's awesome. That gave me some ideas. Anyway, did you want to see anything else about this?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's not about that. It's about your Delta rocket in the background.
Yes. What would you like to know about that?
Whose is it?
It's
Is it
mine.
your design?
Yep. Pull it out. This is part of my Opportunity series because my son loves Opportunity for some reason. Calls him Oppie.
the rover.
Yeah. So there's Opportunity. You can get this free on the Bricks in Space. I made that in the fall. It's actually, you know what? This is the same scale as my big Skylab. It's about a 1:73, 1:72, 1:73. Getting 9 boosters around the end, or around the circumference there, was really hard, but it works. Anyway. Oh yeah, and there's the upper stage.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you want to be super accurate, there's the final stage. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Anything else you want to see for right now?
Well, we do have a question from a viewer.
Okay.
I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. I'm just going to go with Kyle.
Okay.
But he wants to know. He was under the impression they had zip lines from the top of the towers to
That
escape.
was shuttle era, wasn't it?
That was shuttle, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Let me. They did have. Sorry. That right there. That's. I'm running out of cord space. This right here. So they'd come up the. Elevator, and they'd go out here on this little platform, and this is where the crew gantry normally is.
Okay.
But this is Skylab, so they moved it down there. But yes, right here they did have zip line. I don't know enough about it to know, in what failure state would they use the zip lines versus the escape slide versus the escape tower. But they definitely did have a lot of like different escape abilities.
I suppose
So,
it
yes.
had to do with what the failure mode was that they were trying to escape from.
Yep. But yeah, the shuttle definitely had zip lines.
How did they connect the zip line to the LUT?
I don't know.
Because the shuttle area had the fixed service structure, so it doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
The LUT moved back and forth all the time.
Yeah, and they drive it out there a few weeks before launch, so they had time to attach things.
I
I
think the zip lines were more meant for the technicians who were working on the vehicle before launch. Because
Okay.
I remember a scene from the Earth to the Moon where they were showing them off. And it was definitely one of the technicians.
that's looking good. Sam.
On a weird side note, I remember the actor playing the technician was the dad from Alf.
Wait, wasn't that what's his name? No, never mind. Sorry.
Only here, folks, would you hear that kind of thing. So
I can also talk about the behind-the-scenes drama on the sitcom Alf as well. That guy was always upset he was being upstaged by a puppet, which is kind of funny because the puppeteers were below the stage.
yes. Well, I've seen a lot of interviews with actors that have worked with Muppets, and they all say that you focus on the Muppet because it just there's something anthropomorphic about us that we will respond to the puppet versus the person below it.
I didn't tell you, Scott, but I also purchased and built my largest Lego set ever this past week.
And that would be?
It would be the 1989 Batmobile.
Okay. Oh, I saw your pictures. I was wondering if you were about to get run over on the street.
But yeah, it is like 2 feet long and 3,300 pieces.
I finally got this. I finally got the space station. Put it together.
Nice.
You know,
Took it to work.
I am not a huge fan of it.
Of the
Neither am I.
Of the Lego space station set that came out recently.
okay, why?
I don't
Defend.
know. I just when I first saw it, like when I first saw the lunar lander, I was like, I have to have it. But when I saw the space station, I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me that much.
I don't like the orange plates on the solar panels.
Hmm.
That's my biggest complaint, other than the shuttle being too small.
I've got a fix for that.
Yeah, do you want me to do a prototype or a test build for you?
Sure. I'll
Send me the instructions and I'll critique them.
That's it, Scott. You've got a big community now who will help you out.
yeah.
I had a guy recently contact me saying that he'll do a test build of the MSS for me. So
Someone you've met before, or
what was that?
is it someone you've met before, or someone you know, or it's just random out of the blue?
It's a new guy to the Bricks and Space page who's been talking to me a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, I've joked about it before, Sam. Like, sorry, Mr. B. I feel kind of bad that I'm like building your baby, like I'm stealing it from you or something.
You've
Like,
been improving it.
what was that?
You've been changing his baby too, right? You've been
I've
improving
been
it.
doing a few changes, but more to the point, it's like, oh man, I feel bad. Like, Sam designed this, but I'm building it before him. Like,
Well, you know,
then I see it and I'm like, I don't feel bad at all. This is amazing.
Well, he is a starving college student, so
yeah, I
Yes.
don't really have a ton of money.
Which is why I'm trying to help you do the instructions so you can sell that.
It like people ask me about, building the bottom part of the launch pad, but it doesn't work. I don't think it'll work with any other LUT. Just because your LUT fits so perfectly that I don't see how anything else can fit the right way.
That's what she said. Yes.
there's enough variation in the designs.
There is
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, besides the actual dimensions, Joe has all the umbilical connections, almost all of them. And most designs don't have like a hydraulic connection, a GH2 connection, or the electrical doors on the side of the mobile launcher. Just all these little minute details that people don't have in their designs, which is fine. Makes it considerably cheaper,
That's true.
but you lose the detail.
Right.
And we've said this before, but there was definitely a kind of a humorous thread a few months back of someone saying like, "Hey, I see all these different designs. Which one should I choose?" And everyone was like, "Well, if you want the simplest, do Valerie's. If you like Technic, do what's his name's? I can't remember.
Nathan?
Nathan, thank you. Do Nathan's. If you're really, really into detail and you hate yourself, do Joe." And I was like, that is 100% true. It was something along those lines, but it was, yeah.
Okay, we have one other one to talk about. your sky crane that I have to talk about. Or that I want you to talk about.
Yeah, so this was around when I was getting tired of working on the LC-39 and the MSS. I just was getting worn out. And I saw in the news that SpaceX had a test failure of their parachute. And they use a what is it? Is it S64 or
Sky crane.
Sky crane? Yeah. And so I was like, hey, that could be a fun little design I could do. And I just spent like a week messing around with it. It's actually, I've gone through a design change or color scheme change, I should say. So the orange design, like that is the like anyone can use it. But then I updated it to make it more accurate.
Okay, here, let's. There you go. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So the only concern I have is if this clip can actually hold the weight of the rotor.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
I might have to add something under here to hold the weight. I'm actually in the middle of creating instructions for this.
Huh.
Yeah, it was just a little thing I decided to do. Fun little build.
Now, as someone who used to be a fixed wing pilot, I have to warn you: helicopters don't fly. They're just so ugly that the ground repels them. The other one is they don't fly. Wait, I'm sorry. Crap, I forgot it. They don't fly. They just beat the air into submission. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
So then what's an osprey?
Wizard. It's just magic.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's an abomination in the eyes of God. I'm kidding. I love all aircraft.
Every time I see, there was an architect in Des Moines who was a private pilot. He'd fly to a lot of the projects around Iowa, and he crashed 3 times. And we used to make jokes. One was some kind of mechanical error, but the other 2 were running out of gas. And we were like,
It happens.
Right, but twice? Come on. I mean, I can't imagine that he could ever get life insurance, Have you ever crashed an airplane? Well, 3 times, Well, the 4th is going to get you, It's
Yeah.
And twice he actually landed in the same golf course.
Oh, wow.
Must really like golf.
Yeah.
Number one reason put on NTSB reports for a crash of a light aircraft is controlled flight into terrain.
Right.
Which can mean anything. Was the pilot still in control of the aircraft? Whether it was on fire, out of fuel, the engines fell off, he still had his hands on the controls. Controlled flight into terrain. Anyway.
My dad's in EAA, and you get the magazine every month, which is fabulous. But what I love is there are 5 columns in every issue that are trying to convince you to never, ever fly a light aircraft. It's all about accidents. And it's such a I love to read them because Hold on.
Sam, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The fairing catcher?
Well, this isn't the catcher itself, but this is one of their support ships.
Okay.
Just thought I'd show it while you guys were talking.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We were
I love
talking
the
about
fact that you've done the bow wave and the wake as well on the actual stick. That's eight.
yeah, this was fun.
That's cool.
This is where they were actually talking about landing the dragon on the pad itself, which would have been crazy.
So like propulsive landing?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the Draco engines here on the sides.
Oh,
You can't see
yeah, I can.
right there.
That's
Which
awesome.
they decided was too complicated and too hard to human certify.
Yeah. Know your customers.
Yeah.
Wow. So they were considering, instead of splashing down, actually landing.
Yeah, they were talking about landing back at, was it LZ1 in Kennedy? But they decided that it was just too complicated. I think their biggest technical issue was they were talking about having feet extend from the heat shield.
Yes.
Oh.
Which would have been really, really hard. So I think they
Tell me you watch Scott Manley on YouTube.
Who doesn't?
Thank you. He's my man crush. I want to send him a Lego Saturn 1B.
You should send him a new command module for his Saturn model that he's missing.
You haven't told me you've been working on all these things, Sam. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, this one? Yeah. Yeah, this is the precursor to the full pad.
Wow, I should have been a music major. You have lots of time on your hand.
No, I just have no friends.
No, you have no kids.
Yes, accurate. Yeah. So this is out of date, out of scale. Need to read it.
It looks good.
It does.
Actually, I have a friend in Australia who actually test built it for a convention.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, with the glass.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the hardest part is getting the cladding right.
Yeah.
And then like getting the arm to actually swing. The pink is a bunch of revisions we made to make it more stable, but
Huh. Well, we're coming to the end. Just a couple minutes.
It's
I'd
a real shame as well
that I did not say a bad word. I think it's the first episode.
Still a minute to go, Scott. There's still time.
Yeah, we still have a minute for an earthquake to hit, and you can hear me just cuss all day long.
I'd feel that one if it. Well, thanks, Sam. Mr. B, thanks for being on. It's been fun to get to know you better.
Yeah.
You do have some incredible stuff. Please, everyone, support Bricks in Space, and if you do get some stuff out that you get funding or that you need funding for, I'd still like to work on trying to make the whole thing. I think that it'd be a great project. It's just how to find the funding for it. So
yeah.
For real.
So yeah, if there's any other questions, any other comments you'd like to make?
I do have a personal page for all my stuff called Zero Gravity Bricks. You can follow that on Facebook and Instagram if you would like.
Cool. I will do that. I thought I had followed you, but I think we're just friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
follow
so.
your page too. All right. Well, thanks, Joe. Members, thank you.
You're welcome.
As always. And we will be back hopefully next week. I got to round up a guest, but hopefully we'll have something going next weekend. Thanks, everybody. Oh, I guess I should say goodbye.
See ya.